Hello, I'm Niemira at VanFUNDING Vancouver conference, and today we have a pleasure to talk to Monique Morden, the CEO of Judi.
Yes.
Welcome here.
Thank you.
And you had a presentation today.
Yeah, I was part of a panel today with a few other FinTech companies, sort of a broad range of FinTechs. We all like to support each other and talking about blockchain and AI in the FinTech space.
And this is what Judi is all about, that you actually, applying artificial intelligence into your platform.
That's
and
right.
you connecting the clients and the lenders together.
Yeah, so actually we sell to the lenders, so our platform is for lenders to use. And it's true, we kind of facilitate the lenders and the borrowers getting together. But we're all about the software and how to make it seamless and fast and how to use data and AI to do that.
Well, you have your own passions, and
Yes.
you have a passion for data, everything what is mobile.
Yes.
So how actually your own personal passions translate into you forming and managing Judi?
Yeah, so I've always been a numbers geek. I've always loved math. I always thought it was because I was just too lazy to write essays or anything like that. It was way easier just to figure out the number and an answer. But I love to solve problems, and I love to use data to solve problems. And data tells a story. And in this case, it's a way to tell the story about a small business and how creditworthy they are. And they need that information so they can get access to capital. So small businesses are trying to grow. They need to hire new people or buy more materials or expand. And so we see that we're really helping out, the little guy and helping them get access to capital.
Access to capital. And historically, small and medium-sized companies always had a problem when it comes to the borrowing. So what is actually the criteria the companies need to comply with in order to be accepted by the lenders presented on your platform?
Yeah, great question. So the credit policy is actually determined by the lenders and by their risk tolerance, I would say. But the elements that go into the risk score is the personal credit of the business owner, the risk of the business, and this looks at everything from their past lending and sort of payment history, but also what industry they're in, what region they're in, if they own their premises or not, how many employees they have, and then a financial analysis. So we get the bank data. We've got an AI categorization engine which goes in and looks at all of those transactions and their operating, cash flow, debt service coverage ratio. So we're able to calculate a whole bunch of data off of that and look at the financial health of the business. So can they afford a loan? How is their cash flow tracking their expenses and their revenue?
Yes. So many people right now are saying, data is the new oil.
Yes,
some are saying data it's a soil. So is it really something that for your business, for Judi, it's very fundamental information?
We're nothing without the data.
Yes.
And there is a bit of a chicken and egg with data in that you need the data to do the modeling, to create the model, to then run the model and keep improving the model. So if you can't find a way to get some of that data to start with, it can be a bit of a non-starter. So that's why banks and some of the financial institutions have a leg up, because they're sitting on all of this data. And if you're a FinTech, you have to find ways to get access to that data to start with.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just recently this year, Judi actually was awarded a FinTech award, so that must feel fantastic, not just to be appreciated by your clients, but also by your industry.
Yes.
So are you operating only in Canada, or you also have global vision for your platform?
So with my team, we talk about world domination.
Oh my gosh,
so
we
need some steps to get there. So we're in Canada right now. We just have a Canadian client who also operates in the US. And so we just launched with them last week into the US, and our 2019 focus will be on the US. So we'll be getting a sales team and going down and really expanding into that market. Still selling and expanding in Canada, but that'll be the big frontier for us.
Yes.
And then after that, expands globally. So we try to have a long-term vision, but tactically really execute crisply.
So you must have already researched probably some regions, and right now they are emerging economies, and they're talking also about paradigm shift.
Yeah.
That, for example, there is blockchain. It's a need versus want. That in North America we want blockchain. In different regions they just simply need blockchain because it really represents a solution, and it improves their lifestyle, and it improves the access to the funding. So have you researched some regions which are like might be much more interested in your platform when we're talking about, for example, South America, Africa, some part of Asia, or even Europe?
It's a very interesting question. So I mean, with language issues, it's always easier to go into sort of Canadian or English-speaking regions first. Although we are going to be localizing into French and into Spanish, which, you know, in Canada and the US, those are big languages. That opens the door for, you know, Latin America. Two of our sort of the founders, Troy Wright and Kevin Clark, who are ex-Scotiabank guys, spent a lot of time operating down in LATAM, so they have connections down there, which could open a door.
Yes.
So we'll figure out our strategy for rolling out into different regions. I try to keep sort of a short-term look on how to get to where the revenue is.
So it's a long-term vision with a short-term kind of steps which you are taking.
That's right.
Well, the most important thing, the focus, which is actually kind of, you know, when you're looking at your company and how you're managing everything, what is actually the main point which you're always paying attention to?
The customers. What are the customers saying? So we have quite a big product team.
And you have a platform which actually right away checks that information as well, that you can get the feedback.
Yeah, and when I say customers, I mean the financial institutions or the leasers. So we're always listening to their staff and to the borrowers that are coming through. What's the experience like? What additional features would help make their life easier? And we also listen to our prospects. So if we're trying to sell the platform in, are there features they're looking for that we don't have? Or maybe it's language or any sort of functionality. So when you're developing a product, it's really got to be customer driven, user driven. So you really need to be dialed into the people that are using your platform.
Yes, so you have a platform really for people, and you are oriented towards the people, towards the customer service.
Exactly.
Monique, thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and looking forward how the company is going to expand and evolve and
our world domination.
Your world domination. This is like, you know, everybody needs to stay tuned to see what will be happening.
That's right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you as well. Thank you.